Hello, my name's Elijah Wells, and last night the Golden Globes winners just happened, as in who won the Golden Globe, so let's get on with it. And for Best Picture in Drama, it goes to Hamnet, the Chloe Zhao movie, which I watched a couple of days ago, and again, I really liked the movie. It won over films like Frankenstein and Sinners, as well as films in the international film section like It Was Just an Accident, Secret Agent, and Sentimental Value. Again, a really strong win that pretty much boasts my claim that Chloe Zhao could be the first woman to win two Best Picture winning films, as in direct two Best Picture winning films, and also could be the first Asian to do that same feat. So could be a very strong case that could happen. But again, I'm very pleased that she's won. For Best Picture in Musical Comedy, it goes to One Battle After Another. Again, I backed that to win, and again, it won. It won over films like Blue Moon, Bognonia, My Supreme, No Other Choice, and New Vogue. Again, I did see My Supreme sometime after the nominations were announced. I definitely did like it. I definitely really enjoyed it. I made a review about it like a week ago or something. No, I think I'll choose One Battle After Another over My Supreme, but mainly because it's just marginally a little bit better, but I don't know what I specifically boil it down to, but yeah. And for Best Animated Feature, no surprises here, it goes to K-pop Demon Hunters, which is, again, I really enjoyed that film, and even though I wish Zootopia 2 could have won this one, but again, I'm very happy that K-pop Demon Hunters won for that one. They won over films like Little Emily, Elio, Akko, and even Demon Slayer was in this film, the Infinity Castle movie. Like, again, it's even, what also caught my attention is that K-pop Demon Hunters is not even going to be nominated in the BAFTAs, as in, not even on the long list, which I may discuss a little bit more when the BAFTA nominations come out later this month. But Demon Slayer Infinity Castle is, which is again going to make some very interesting reactions online. But again, I'm very happy that K-pop Demon Hunters has won. And for Cinematic Box Office Achievement, which again, the category that makes absolutely no sense for me, like, the nomination went to Avatar like a couple weeks before it even came out, and it could be projected to be the lowest grossing Avatar film, but even though it's going to make a lot of money at the end of the day. And there's also K-pop Demon Hunters, which again only came out for 2 weeks because it's a Netflix film, and Netflix are definitely allergic to cinema for some reason. Which again, it just speaks a volume of how really incompetently pulled together this category is. But again, it went to win it. It went to Sinners, the Ryan Coogler movie, but, well, I'm guessing this category will exist for the indefinite future, which is a bit surprising. And of course we have the Best Non-English Film, or Best Foreign Language Film. It goes to the Brazilian movie, The Secret Agent. And again, this is probably the most competitive year for foreign cinema for a very long time. Not just a lot of these films like It Was Just an Accident, No Other Choice, Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, and Sarat, and even The Voice of Hind Hijab. Of course, not just nominated in this category, but also showing like really strong pollings in like other categories, like in acting, particularly with Sentimental Value, but a lot of them for screenplay, and even a couple of them could even get a Best Picture nomination out of it. Like, it is that big of a deal for the foreign film section at the moment in this year. And now we go to the acting categories. For Best Actress in a Drama, it goes to Jessie Berkley for Hamlet. Again, incredible, very endearing, very emotionally impactful performance that she did in Hamlet. Again, Jessie Berkley has won that one. She won over Jennifer Lawrence for Die My Love, Renee Renazes for Sentimental Value, sorry if I completely botched the name, which I totally did, Julia Roberts for After the Hunt, Tessa Thompson for Heather, and Eva Victor for Sorry Baby. Again, I feel like she was the most clear winner in my opinion, but I think their biggest competition that she could have had was the Renette from Sentimental Value. But again, I'm very happy that she came out on top, and of course she ended up winning it in my opinion. And for Best Actor in Drama, it goes to Wagner Mori for the Secret Agent, which is again did surprise some people because a lot of people thought Michael B. Jordan was going to win for Sinners. Of course, it is a pretty strong category with like Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams, Oscar Isaac for Frankenstein, Dwayne Rock Johnson for Smashing Machine, and Jimmy Allen White from the Springsteen movie, which, again, all of them are pretty great performances. But what really surprised me from the BAFTA long list, which came out recently, is that Dwayne The Rock Johnson is nowhere to be found in the acting category for Smashing Machine, even though the performance from him is like incredible. Which, again, I'm just hoping this does not stall his campaign for Best Actor at the Oscars, but I'm hoping this doesn't completely derail it, in my opinion, because he is a complete knockout in this movie. Like, he's incredible. But on the other hand, for Ragnar Mori for The Secret Agent, I don't think it's out yet in the UK, but I might check it out soon if my local cinema is showing it. Being Ragnar Mori for The Secret Agent. And of course, we go to Best Actress in a comedy musical. It goes to Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Like, I think it's pretty much now between her and Jessie Berkley from Hamlet, like, as in who's going to win for the Best Actress Oscar. Of course, the rivalry is already set, and of course, Rose Byrne is getting like loads of momentum at the moment, like winning awards like left, right, front, center, and everywhere that's in her eyesight. Like, she is like apparently like really great in the movie as a really mentally falling apart nurse who's a single mom as well, and also seeking help with a therapist played by Conan O'Brien, which I imagine there's going to be some jokes about at the Oscars since it's hosted by Conan again. She won over Cynthia Erivo for Wicked for Good, Kate Hudson for Sing Song Blue, Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another, which again I think I did back her to win, but I think it did make sense for Rose Byrne to win for that category. Emilia Seinfeld for A Testament of Anne Lee, and Emma Stone for Bugnonia, another Yorgos Lanthimos collaboration. Again, I'm hearing some good things about Testament of Anne Lee. I've praised and raved about One Battle After Another. Wicked for Good, well, apparently it's not getting as much awards momentum as the first film is, but I'm definitely wouldn't be surprised if it has some representation, like for costuming and maybe for some performances and some music. And of course, Song Song Blue is getting some awards attention at the moment. And Magnolia, even though it's not Yorgos's or Emma Stone's strongest of their collabs, but I definitely understand why people would like it. And over to Best Actor in a Comedy Musical goes to Timothée Chalamet for My Supreme, who won over what I've predicted, being Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. But again, I'm totally nothing against Timothée Chalamet to win for My Supreme. He won over George Clooney for Jay Kelly, who is also not in the long list for the BAFTAs for the Best Actor. Which again, like with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, somewhat surprising, but we'll see how the Oscars nominations spread out in the longer term. There's of course Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, and Lee Bong-han for No Other Choice, and Jesse Plums for Bugnonia. Again, I feel like it's going to be like The Actress, where an intense rivalry will be playing out between Timothy and Leonardo for their respective roles. And now we go to the supporting actress and acting roles. It goes to Tanya Taylor for One Battle After Another. Like, I think it kind of scratched my head a little bit of her winning, just because she was in the movie for like only 20 minutes, and the movie's runtime is like 2 hours 40 minutes. So barely like a fraction of this movie, but again very pivotal and important, as she was in like the 20 minutes of the movie, as in the opening 20 minutes. She won over Emily Blunt for Smashing Machine, Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good, who could be after another Oscar nomination. There's Isadora Illicis from Sentimental Value, which again, I'm really bad at these surnames at the moment, and Amy Madigan for Weapons, which she is absolutely on fire at the moment. Like, she's like winning. I think she recently won the Critics' Choice Awards recently, and of course, a lot of attention is going to her, and she's picking up some awards here and there. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if she ends up winning more major awards, like maybe a BAFTA and an Oscar, maybe. But again, I'm very happy that Miss Taylor won for One Battle After Another, but I'm not sure. I'm maybe still thinking and analysing who could also win, given her really brief screen time in the movie. And finally, we have Best Supporting Actor. We have Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Paul Mescal for Hamlet, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly, and the winner is Darren Starsgard for Sentimental Value. Again, a really big win, and of course, he's ended up in some meme fodder as well. Particularly, there was that photo where he looks depressed, and all of the supporting characters are like taking selfies and looking all happy, and he's just sitting in the cold corner and just looking somewhat sentimental and just being a little bit bored. Like, apparently, it's just like the movie. I did remember backing Sean Penn to win for one battle after another, but I imagine this is going to get another very interesting category, in my opinion, the more it goes on. But we'll wait and see. But I think maybe Stallion might be my best supporting actor at the moment, like my bet going forward for like the BAFTAs and Oscars. But we'll wait and see. And for Best Director, it goes to Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. Again, he's like, for a very long time, until probably end of next month maybe, or the end of like a couple months away, that he could be, he could end his streak being the best filmmaker without an Oscar. I think I remember him winning a Golden Globe for something, but maybe for like There'll Be Blood or Inherent Vice, or no, or maybe Licorice Pizza, but I feel like he could have won for that, but he still hasn't got an Oscar in his huge awards cabinet. Which again, even though he's won double this time, as in for screenplay, which I'll touch on a little bit later, but again, he finally won director, which is again a very justifiable choice, and of course, pretty much the best choice in my opinion. He won over Ryan Coogler for Sinners, he did a great job. Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein, yeah, very good, as well as Chloe Zhao for Hamlet, as well as Jacques Tia for Sentimental Value, and of course, the person I'm going to have to talk about quite a bit now is being Jafar Panahi for It Was Just an Accident. I think the last we've heard of him, he said he's pretty much gonna hand himself into an Iranian jail because he's made a bunch of films that spoke very critically about the Iran government, particularly with his previous films like Tehran Taxi, which is shot pretty much as a shot inside of a car which acts like a taxi throughout the capital city of Tehran. As well, when he was in home arrest for making some films critical about the Ayatollah. So he pretty much made a film called This Is Not a Film and shot it in his house or apartment, and he smuggled the film out by stuffing like the SD card into a cake and sent it to a film festival in Cannes. Which is again, it shows an insane amount of commitment he has, particularly his resentment against the really oppressive Iran regime that's if you remember, like the past couple of days now, there's major riots in like pretty much every city in Iran that could essentially obliterate the Ayatollah to a point that 1979 would look like nothing. As in, possible that the government will collapse and the Ayatollah will come down with it, but who knows? And of course, my thoughts and prayers are with Jafar Panahi and hoping he will be released as a free man once again. And for Best Screenplay, it goes to Paul Thomas Anderson, again for One Battle After Another, a double for him. Of course, it brings it up to 4 now for the wins for One Battle After Another. He won over My Supreme, Sinners, he's won over It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, and of course Hamlet. And now we're on the final stretch, as in we're going to the music categories, but for Best Score, it goes to Ludwig Göransson for Sinners. Again, some really great music in that movie, a lot of blues, a lot of rock, and definitely some incredible music. But and also, again, could be his second win of the Oscars after Black Panther. And no, third Oscar, but, if you include his Oppenheimer one, which I completely forgot in my head. But anyways, he won over Alexander Desplat for Frankenstein, Johnny Greenwood of Radiohead, who did One Battle After Another, Kelly Ding Ray for Serrat, and Mark Rickner for Hamlet, and Hans Zimmer for F1 or Formula 1. What also surprises me, particularly for Hamlet, since I've now seen the movie since the nomination came out, it did use the song On the Nature of Daylight in the end of the film, which, again, really sweet, very beautiful song. If you haven't checked out the song, please check it out, particularly with the music video with Elizabeth Moss in it. Again, a very sweet moment, but again, it could fall foul with the really weird, overly like thought out, overly convoluted laws about best score and what counts as best score in the Oscars standard, since they have a really bad habit of like changing the rules like every couple of years to a point it just doesn't really make too much sense. Particularly, this is an old song from the mid-2000s, I think it was released. But someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but this could cause like a major issue with Max Rickner. But again, I'm just hoping for the best. But again, I'm very happy that Lyric has won for Sinners and could make it a third Oscar in his cabinet. But I'm also hoping to look out for Johnny Greenwood for One Battle After Another if he pulls a surprise one on the Oscars. And finally, we go for Best Song. Last and certainly not least, the winner is Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. Again, I really like the song. It's definitely a bop. And it's also played at my sister's wedding like a month ago, which is, again, I really like how really smooth and very infectious it is. It's definitely a banger altogether. But other songs that I wish could have also won, but again, I feel like I was happy that Golden won at the end of the day and could end up winning the Oscar. Songs like I Lie to You from Sinners, which is definitely my cup of tea, as in it starts off slow and the atmosphere and the instrumentation builds and builds, and it just takes a lot of creative left turns and feels somewhat experimental. Or something like Train Dreams by Nick Cave and Bryce Deezer from the National Band. Since I like both the National and Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, so this is definitely a collaboration I never thought I wanted, but again, this is something I definitely needed. Again, if you haven't heard these songs, particularly something like Train Dreams, please check it out. But I imagine everyone's heard of like Golden or something like that, and I lie to you given how really successful these films are. But again, I'm very happy that Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters has won it. So, what do you think of the Golden Globe winners? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, and Letterboxd. And this is Elijah Wells, and bye.